Scott Doggett? Listen, this was 10 to 12 years ago. Michelle Collins needs to put up or shut up. Welcome, everyone. Come on in. Let me give you my view. Then I want you to drop down there in the comments because we want to know, what say you? Let's go. So by now, you've no doubt seen or heard that former View co-host Michelle Collins was upset that, according to her, as of the time she was filming her Instagram Live in Milan, Italy, she had not been contacted by the View people to be a part of the celebratory 30th year. I want to play what she said on her Instagram Live, just in case you were like me and you were actually living this summer and very busy. I want you to hear it for yourself. I also have a few other audio clips we're going to listen to in today's episode, so be prepared to keep your volume adjusted so that it's comfortable for you to hear. Now, I got to tell you, I got a lot to say on this, and actually this is just part one, because guess what? Guess what I got in front of me? Yeah, that's the hardback version of Ramin Satuta's book, Ladies Who Punch, the explosive inside story of The View, where he talks very openly and freely about Michelle Collins. So if I were Michelle, I would just let it go and move on. Let me just say this before I play this clip. I was thinking about this. Guys, do we recognize that Milan, Italy is one of the most beautiful places on this earth? Why is this lady who's knocking on 50 years of age, okay? Why is she in one of the most beautiful places on earth thinking about people who obviously care nothing about her? It's so small. It's so petty. It's like, girl, go have fun. Go do something. Leave these people alone. Michelle knows why they've not invited her back. And on part 2, I'm going to expose exactly what that is. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So let's take a listen to her Instagram Live. Adjust your volume. Let's go.
Hey guys, it's Michelle here in Milan, Italy, where it's roughly 1,000 degrees. But I just heard that Rosie O'Donnell went on my friend Kylie Ridley's podcast and said that she heard all the co-hosts from The View were being asked back for the 30th season. Now, that was news to me, maybe because I'm traveling so much my invite somehow got lost, but I've not heard from anyone from the show. And in fact, I didn't hear from them during season 25 when they had, I think, most, if not all of the co-hosts back. I found that really interesting because, you know, I always behaved very professionally about that show. I was, in fact, a real co-host. I was number 15 back in 2015, despite what they'll have you believe. I was named a co-host, and yeah, I just find it really funny. You know, when I got unceremoniously let go from that show, I never talked shit, never went public with anything because I thought that was professional. But now I'm starting to think maybe that was dumb. Maybe I should have, because all those other people are being asked back. So, you know, I just wanted to address it because I've gotten a lot of DMs from people, especially these two, about, I'll let them, there's children there, so I'm in it. But I've gotten a lot of questions asking me if I'm coming back for season 30. Right now, TBD, we don't know, but yeah, I would love to hear from them, would certainly love to, and we'll leave it at that. Okay, guys, otherwise, you know, we can have a little bit of fun too either way. So on that note, ciao, bye.
Now, the reason I say in the title, Michelle Collins needs to put up or shut up, is because she's been saying this exact same thing, y'all, for the past 10 to 11 years. I've been professional. I've never said anything. It's like, girl, okay, why don't you go ahead and say what it is that you want to say? Put up or shut up. Matter of fact, Michelle has said a lot of things. So I don't really know what she means when she says she hasn't said anything. She didn't talk shit. It's like, Michelle, you talk shit about Joy, okay? You talk shit about other people. The clips are out there, okay? We have the receipts. So what exactly is it that we don't already know that you have this secret information on that you're going to tell us? It ain't nothing, y'all. I'm telling you, Michelle ain't got nothing. Also, Michelle always does this when she's got a comedy tour or comedy show coming up. You know, she will say, I might just put some information in there about The View. It's like, girl, I don't think people are going to come to your comedy show care anything about a show you were on for less than a year. I can understand all of this if Michelle were on the show for, like Megan, for 4 years or 5 years, or like some of these people, you know, it's like they've gone on. Even people who were on there like a year, They've moved on. And the only time we hear these people talking about it, who are part of the 1 year or less club, is when they're directly asked about it. Everyone knows The View had a toxic work environment. Everyone knows it's pretty much still toxic. I mean, we heard Alyssa Farah Griffin say that she cried on a regular basis when she was there for her first season. So this is not new information. So is Michelle going to tell us exactly what they said when they let her go? I mean, listen, the bottom line here for me is I don't like when people sell wolf tickets. I don't like that. Listen, if you got something to say, girl, say it. Okay? If you just want people to come to your comedy show and you want to bait them with that, which all of us hate the bait and switch, but if that's what you want to do, okay, cool. But you don't have any information. Michelle don't have no information, y'all. Listen, all the information about Michelle Collins came out in Ramin Satuta's book, Ladies Who Punch. And again, we're going to go over that information in part 2 of this conversation. So it's like, Michelle, unless you got something that the person who wrote a book about the show, matter of fact, you did sit down and talk with him too, unless you got something, girl, stop it. Put up or shut up. Because it kind of reminds me, y'all, of Whoopi. Y'all know Whoopi used to, and now she can't do it anymore, but she used to do this every time it was time for her contract to come up for a renewal. She would go out and do these interviews and say, I don't know. This just may be my last season there. And all of us knew that that was a negotiation tactic. She was threatening to leave, so that they would give her more money. And who knows, it may have worked. It probably did work. And that's why she continued to do it. To where now Whoopi is out here saying, girl, I can't leave. I can't leave that show because I need that check. And the truth of the matter is, Michelle Collins got a lot of opportunity. Even though she was let go from The View, she still got a lot of opportunity because she was on that show. Listen, she got her Sirius XM show because of she was a former View co-host. So this show has been very good to her. The truth of the matter is The View is the biggest thing in Michelle Collins' career that she's ever done. And I think she would say the same. Matter of fact, I think she has said the same. Now, for those of you who are new to ABC's The View, or this was so long ago you really don't remember this lady, I want to give you a little quick history on her, because when I come back for part 2, we're just going to jump right into the mess, okay? Right into the pool of mess that Ramin Satuta has given us. So here's the bottom line, okay? I want to play something for you. This was in 2015, okay? Season 19. She was the 15th co-host, okay? And this was her debut.
We're kicking off today's show by making some View announcements and history. We've had so much fun hanging out with this young lady that we asked her to become the 15th co-host to sit at the Hot Topics table. Please welcome the amazing and very, very funny Michelle Collins.
First of all, say what beautiful confetti, and thank you for that. I am so excited, and I feel so lucky that I get to come here and spend this time with you. And I just want to say very quickly, first of all, thank you to everyone who works on the show, because it is the most amazing group of people. The cast, the crew, everybody here is unbelievable. And I want to say, for me, from day one, everybody has been so welcoming and wonderful and kind to me.
So she got a very welcoming reception, okay? But let me give you a little bit of the history, okay? Because again, I know some of you are like, she was there so long ago and it was so brief, you don't remember. So she, like I said, was there for less than one season. She wasn't even there the full season before she got canned, okay? So she officially joined in July 2015, okay? She was let go in June of 2016. You know, that season 19, like all the seasons, they end in August. So even though she was just a few months shy, she still didn't make it a full season, okay? So here's the timeline. All right, so she was there, she was full-time at first, 5 days a week, okay? Listen, she had trial guest co-hosted before that. People, we received her pretty well. I mean, she was a different face. She gave a different type of comedy than Joy and Whoopi. And so we liked her, right? So she was heavily promoted as the permanent full-time face of the show ahead of that season. Okay, so here's the deal. There were so many controversies with this girl, okay? So she was there for 5 days a week, and then came the nurses' comment where she said something that offended nurses, and advertisers pulled out of The View. Okay, guys, listen. When advertisers, when something we say causes our job to lose money, none of us in our right mind think they're going to keep us for long. I mean, to me, that's just common sense. Girl should have started looking for her another job, okay? But anyway, she didn't stop there, okay? Then, okay, Carly Fiorina was running for president at that time, and Michelle made a joke. She said her face looked demented during the debate. That caused problems. They did bring Carly on. They patched her in. She wasn't there in studio to kind of clean that mess up. And then the next thing we know, Michelle went down from 5 days a week. If you guys remember this, to like 2 days a week, then maybe 1 day a week. And then before we know it, she was gone. Okay. So the bottom line for me, again, as I said earlier in this episode, I could understand her Instagram live in Milan if she had been there for years. It's like, this was such a short stint, okay? What is the big deal? And again, Michelle has said many things. We talked about her saying that Joy didn't like her because the audience felt like she was funnier than Joy. And I have to say, I do remember that. She was funnier than Joy. I remember laughing out loud a number of times, okay? Also, she claims that some of these jokes about the nurses, about Carly's face, Joy set her up and then she took the bait, okay? She says a lot of different things, okay? Over the many, many years, Michelle has been on many people's podcasts. I mean, the last one that we talked about she was on was Matt Rogers and Bowen Yang's podcast, Las Culturitas. I can never say that. You guys know what I'm trying to say. The bottom line is they're her friends, okay? Just like Andy Cohen is her friend. She's always on Watch What Happens Live. And she said a lot of things. So again, what exactly is it that she claims she's holding on to? She hasn't talked shit. What exactly are you holding on to? What is it, y'all, that this lady claims to have that we don't already know? Because Ramin told us, or she told us herself, was not a good co-host. Okay, I think that Michelle was in her Mean Girl era. Now, this is my opinion. This is my personal opinion of what I saw as a viewer. I think she was in her Mean Girl era. I think that she took advantage of that. Who knows? Maybe they found out that Michelle was trying to cut deals behind the scenes. Who knows? The bottom line is they had buyer's remorse with Michelle Collins. And she's not the only one. And here, that's another thing. I could understand if she were the only co-host in The View history that this has happened to. A number of people have had the same fate. They were hired. It did not work out. They were there for 5 days a week. They were reduced down to 1 to 2, like Paula Ferris. Okay, we all know what really happened with Raven. Raven wasn't happy there, so she took that job, where she had to fly back and forth from New York to LA, and that reduced her. Then we know what happened with Rosie Perez. Rosie wasn't happy there. Rosie has talked about this. So she started taking acting gigs, which took her down from 5 days a week to a few. So everyone knows it's a toxic work environment, but women take jobs on The View because it's the hottest thing in daytime. Not to mention, you can parlay that into many different opportunities, as she has rightly done. And so at the end of the day, I really think it's time for Michelle Collins to put up or shut up. The next interview she does, somebody needs to call her on the carpet and say, okay, here are all the things you've said about The View. Now tell us, what else do you claim to be not telling us, okay? Because as far as I'm concerned, she's told everything there is, except probably the part that she doesn't want us to know, which is maybe she was a mean girl, okay? Not to mention, as I let you go, when we come back together on part 2, when Michelle sat down with Ramin Satuda, do y'all don't think that lady told him everything? Ramin is excellent at his job, okay? This is the only book, nonfiction book, about our show. So if there was anything to be found out, okay, he would have found it out. So Michelle, if you're listening, and I know you are, honey, let it go. You're 45, I think, 48, something like that. I don't know. I think you have bigger fish to fry. You know, I'm going to tell you something. It looks pathetic. I'm a viewer. I've been watching the show for 30 years now. It looks pathetic for you to keep whining about these people not inviting you over there. I'm just telling you, you know, some of these people, they're just gassing you up, girl, and making it, because of whatever. But let me tell you something. For me, it looks pathetic. I think you're much better than this. Let it go. Not to mention, they did reach out to you for season 25, and you sent in a video, which you worked very hard to do, which you talked about when you're with Bowen and Matt on their podcast, okay? And yes, they had you tiny in a corner. But does it really matter? At least they invited you, and you crabbed and complained about that. Could it be that that's why they said, don't even bother her for season 30? Because it's not good enough. You want to sit back there at that table and you want to promote your comedy tours. They're not going to let you do it. And here's the deal. You know why they won't. Let it go. It was 10 to 11 years ago. Okay? Move on. Quit trying to use it as material because it's gotten old. And there are people like me who are now saying, Michelle Collins, put up or shut up. And I'll talk to you guys on the next one. Bye.